44, Matthew 23, where we left off, is going to start talking about who humbles themselves, and then we'll get to a little bit farther in the text and end up with Jesus talking about how one block will not be left on another. And here we left off here. And I know that the last video I had changed the word judges here instead of called teachers, or from rabbi to judges. And I gave the reasons why. Here I needed to carry that over to judges here. Our one is, notice how here in each of these verses how the word one is representing our Father, our Creator, and our Lord. And this is why I said when I'm putting in titles, the titles are very important to you to understand the order of them. What I want to do is I want to take a look at the full text here. And this is 23:8. Do not be calling them rabbi, for one is your teacher, for one is your father, for one is your leader. And that's not right, especially when it comes down to this verse. But when we put the correct titles in, I could have used Father or Lord here. I chose Father because I'm using the title leader here. Is your judge. Our Creator is, he just exists, and not who is in heaven. I've tried to explain to you everything that is the universe and the area that it is expanding into is our Creator. So this is why I'm don't need to have the words he who is in heaven, because he is everywhere, our Creator. Then I'm using the title Lord as our leader, as example, as in the parables that he's given us, that that were servants. I think it was one that had a lord and was a lord of the land, and not so much a kingdom, and he had servants. So do not call them your leaders. Our Lord is your leader. I guess I need to, the title is more descriptive to being a leader. If I would put the word or title Father there, it would not read as correctly as the word or the title Lord. Again, to change the Pharisees to judges, that's who he's been talking to. He's calling them hypocrites. And because of their bad judgments, they're stopping them from entering my kingdom in heaven. And actually doing the will of our Creator on earth as well, it could be said. And then he tells them they will not enter. And they are not to allow them into heaven either. Jesus would have forgotten that he is the only one who forgives to enter into heaven. So that text has to be removed. This text is being removed. And if you're reading it with me, you'll see that this just doesn't make any sense with you when you understand what I've been telling you about the truth about what Jesus in his gospel is. Those are teaching against it. So he wouldn't be saying it. And he's just saying they're not blind guides because they know exactly what they're doing when they know that they're judges are supposed to be well versed in the text to be able just to off the top of the head remember what laws to be able to judge. So they are doing it on purpose, not that they're blind guides at all. So you have to remove the words blind guide because that's just not true. And it's not a temple, it's a house. I don't know how many times I have to repeat that or explain that. And they are indebted. Who swears by the gold in his house, they are indebted. They're like fools by me. You fools are like the blind. Neither is important, the house nor the gold. So, in the temple that sacrificed Jesus, Jesus does not understand that the killing of the animals is outside and offerings are made in the courtyard. So if I know that, he would know that. See, offer that sanctifies the altering. No, it isn't the sanctifying that offering. The offerings are made up before. It is our Creator who forgives. So this is just nothing here. This is just wrong. Who swears by? Who swear also indwells within it. Our Creator does not dwell within it. He meets with people or meets with the priest. So all those verses are just not correct. They're not truthful. You can't swear by but who swears by YHVH is indebted. Got to come back up here. Remember what life goals. Neither is important, but who swears to YHVH is indebted. That's Jesus teaching that but who vows, it's vows. Sorry about that. That swears, but vows. When you make a vow to your Creator, you are to keep it. So you are indebted to your vow. Scribes and judges are hypocrites. All this is I don't know, that's this month. Let me see. I need to see the text here. This is 20. For you tithe mint and dill and coming. Okay. Tithing. There is no tithing. Okay, there's no such thing as tithing. That's just made up. That's just like today they ask you at the church to tithe to the church. That is all made up by them, and they need that to support them. So you're actually supporting people that are absolutely against our Creator, and that is not good against you. That is definitely against you from entering into heaven. So stop that. Now you can, in your gatherings, you can support the existence of your gathering, but your money should not be going any farther outside your gathering. Your gathering is who you should be supporting, not those that are so corrupt and teaching deceivement. And you have to now learn that those that are teaching in front of your gatherings, they can't be using the Bible as is anymore. Because here it's saying that they tied these mint coming, or these herbs, and they have neglected the weightier provisions, which actually is requirements within his law, and justice and mercy. These are what's in his law, not this here. Tithing is important. So when you read it here, you scribes and judges are hypocrites. You neglect the requirements from his laws, justice and mercy. These you should have judged by. And that's the truth. He's trying to tell them they were hypocrites because they didn't do this. And this is not needed. He's already just got done telling them. Then he's going to be talking about them themselves, how they protect their outside of their home, but inside they are robbers by their self-indulgence. And this strictly is Jesus speaking to the knowledge that he knows that their meditation practice is what they really indulge in, and how they judge that they don't weigh our Creator's laws and commands as the way to live. Wow, there's a lot coming out here, so this is, no. Whitewash the tombs? No, this is just, he's already said this. This here isn't true because the tombs of the prophet, it would be the graves of the prophet. Tombs are just where bodies are laid in case they aren't truly dead. And then after the few days there that they didn't wake up, then they were buried. And they weren't adorning the monuments of the prophets. They, for a long time, they were killing the prophets, and they didn't believe them, so they wouldn't adorn them. Yeah. This is speaking to that they are corrupt, and we know that they're corrupt, and then they keep this corruption up, and they from father to son. So well, generally, it's in the text already that they're evil and they're against our Creator, so they don't really care. So that sums up all this. And this here, same thing. And it's okay. Therefore I'm sending you prophets. Now, we know that Jesus never sent out prophets, but he did send me, and that will come up in the text later. Um, so the thing there is we know that this has not been true for the last 2,000 years. And since they're going to lose power over Israelis after his death, there's no way that they're going to continue, even though that Israel has been reestablished and Hebrews are living there, and they still have the female goddess practice. Go read their latest holy book. You shouldn't be surprised at what you read now that I've told you what's going on. But the object is the text is supposed to go over all the world to learn about Jesus. This here, I can't prove that exists, that happened. That's out. So it's not true, not needed. See, in Jerusalem, they was the leaders for the nation Judah, and they in the ending before they were sent out from the land, they were killing prophets. So, and here Jesus put in a female deity over Jerusalem. And it's not how often I wanted to gather your children together. This would be our Creator who would wanted to do that. So, and this is not true by Jesus either. This here verse would counter against what our Creator said. He's sick and tired of them deceiving so many people by living a secret life sex practice and then teaching people their practice, not his. That's why he's going to keep them blind, because they did wake up, they would know the truth, and he's not going to allow them, so they would not be allowed into heaven. So all that text can't be added to the truth. Okay. Sometimes I have a hard time reading where the minutes are at in the video, how long. And Jesus would not come out from the temple. It would have been the courtyard. And this would have to go with the text, like I say, is a lot out of order. This has to be, because we don't have any reason why Jesus is going into the courtyard now. So it has to be when he left the courtyard and kicked all of them out. So anyways, point out that his houses, that the temple's building to him. They were pointing out the beauty of the temple, but it says house, and the building is actually not a building, it is a house, and what it is made of is blocks. Other verses in the gospel will call them stones, but they're blocks. Let me run through that a little bit again here, in case you didn't listen to that last video or the other video. David had, it says 80,000 hewers. Well, hewers mean that they're shaping stone. Solomon said, we have built him a house forever. So they were hewing granite blocks, okay? don't need this here text. And Jesus tells them his prophecy here, not one block will be left on another, for uh, they will be, I guess I realize that they had not torn down, but they will be torn down. So this is here. And we know that's the truth, so this has to be added where. So the word not is not true. He would have known the prophecy. So his prophecy has to be truthful. He was sitting on a hill, not a mount. I don't want to use the word mount because when I looked at the geographic, and I'm hoping I was looking at the right ones, even though it's like a mount, it's still got small hills on top of the mounts where these olive trees are growing. To know that where Jesus is located, and that means that he had to leave Jerusalem, descend, then come back up, and the road went to Bethpage, but there's two rising of hills that have a long flat mount, but on the mount there's hills still on top of the mount, but because it's pretty much flat for a long way. So, but I'm changing the word mount to hill with mount or with olive trees. Not that it was always known as Mount Olive, but that's just trickery of words. And the disciples asked him because they couldn't come up with him privately because he was just there with them. Wouldn't all these things be? They understood that the word not was going to be here as well. So, um, although I guess for they will be torn down, which will one be left upon another, which will not be torn down. I guess that's a trickery of words here, which will not be torn down. I made it simpler by getting rid of the word which. So I guess it's just a different way of writing this verse. So then, yes, the disciples would have understood it truthfully and not what I just said. And he asked him, what sign will be for your second coming? Add the word second because he has told them in verses before, because this text almost sounds like this is when he transfigured. So, and I think he was telling them then that it's his second coming for the end of ages, end of man on earth. So this is the text here that needs to be added. Definitely the second coming because we're talking about the end of man on earth. Final judgment. Okay. Jesus told them, not see, but listen to me, and that no one misleads anyone. Many will come in my name. Now, Jesus is prophesying here about people coming and saying, end of the world is near. Okay? So saying, but they aren't announcing themselves as the Christ. because the title Christ means that is that title for Jesus, who obeyed our Creator and obeyed that he was to die uh, the way he did. That's what the title Christ means. It's not just a word, okay? Go above to back a few videos. I think I have it even labeled that way. Jesus or Peter is revealed by our Creator, the titled Christ. And talks about their wars and rumors of wars, and they must take place, but that is not their ending. So he's explaining, and he's going to go on further explaining, for nations will rise against nations. Should I use the word kingdoms against kingdoms? As it says here, debatable. Yeah, I'm going to change it to kingdoms because that's pretty much. And then I can just copy this to here, and then here, here. Now I am more truthful in the text, or the text is more truthful. And these are like birthing pains, not the beginning. That's because Jesus is going to tell us that because wars have always been going on, they can't have one of them as the beginning. Jesus is not going to be Jesus is not teaching that. He's going to be teaching. Nobody knows but our Creator when that will be, when his second coming. So they will deliver you in tribulation. You will feel humiliated by me. False prophets will rise up, and we know that didn't happen. The first two verses aren't really needed. They aren't adding anything more than we already know about the ending. This could almost be as if take out the word tribulation, and you could say that when they're out there teaching about Jesus, they're going to kill him. He's just warning them that they're going to kill him in the long run when they're out there teaching. But I'm not going to take one verse and stick it someplace else real quick. We know everyone perishes, or everyone our body dies. Because lawless increase. Well, this is why it's going on now at this time. So, the one who endures the end will be saved. No, nothing about saved. It's about forgiveness to enter into heaven. Then my truths of my kingdom will be preached to the whole world as witness to everyone. Then the end will come. This is what I'm here for. Jesus is saying, then my truths of my kingdom will be preached to the whole world as a witnessing to everyone. Then the end will come. Now, that doesn't mean tomorrow, or right even after all what I'm revealing here will be revealed to everyone on earth. This is was saying that this just needs to take place, and then it could be another 2,000 years, 3,000 years. Don't know. Nobody knows. So don't take this and say right after, but we know that this now has been fulfilled in your days. This prophecy here has been filled in your day, in your lifetime or your days. Gospel, Jesus is teaching, it needs to be said, his truths. You can see that I'm removing those things that they've made him as a liar or untruthful. So that's a word change, but it needs to be changed because it is what I've been given to do. Here you can see they're adding a footnote here, so maybe these brackets mean actually a note. Maybe that's what the parentheses mean now that I see it written this way, because we know they wouldn't have found that in another manuscript. But when Daniel's was writing his prophecy, he was writing the prophecy of Jesus, not any of this that's being said here. This is actually this would be speaking way back up to where Jesus would have been talking about one block, not left upon another, but there's so much in between it that this doesn't really need to be written. We know that, what was it, 70 AD or something was when this happened, where the Romans came in and said enough is enough, and tried to bury the truth or get rid of the truth. So they were killing everybody. So those 11 disciples really upset Rome because people were probably not onto their false gods anymore. The common people woke up, and most likely they were telling them about just as I'm telling you, so you know about the people who are meditating to have this sex practice. Quick note here that yes, I did get a hold of them, and I gave them a new repeatable proof of how I was seeing, or how our Creator was making me see him. That's in the first video below. That the righteous male, one who is really trying to be good and really trying to be the best, truthful, humblest people that that they follow these rules of kindness, will and have return saying, our Creator exists. He made me see him. So that has changed since 1995, and there's a lot of things that I've talked about from time to time that you can recognize and see the changing of how things are that surround you. Before, they had so much deception before you didn't know. Common people don't know, but there would be symbols that were calling others to their practice. Those have been torn down. The atheist websites were gone. Even on the web today, all their pictures of their goddess and stuff are now very hard to find. Before, they were up front on every search. But there are still those that don't get the message that, and they will once at some point. If not, they're not going to heaven. Um, Maybe our creators decided for already that they're not worthy, and they will never have their eyes opened either. You can find them by how they uh, don't capitalize the word Jesus, or how they or other titles for our Creator, and how they will say, "Well, God spoke to me too, and this is what He said." See, this is Christians have to wake up, because I know a lot of Christians uh, do go to those websites and channels and think that, oh, these guys are good guys. No, they aren't. This here would have all been about the destruction, but they aren't needed, because Jesus really is not teaching anything here. And since it's already happened, that's just not needed. When Jesus, wow, got more here. Yeah, I'm going to finish up by saying these don't exist here either, or are needed. But behold, here is the Christ, there is Christ. No, false Christ, false prophets will, and they will show you great signs and wonders. That's never happened. So, let's see, this is your inner room. They have it in it. That's their meditation, their inner room. So enlightening comes from every direction, not just east and west. Wherever the corpse of vultures will gather, well, that's kind of common understanding. The sun will darken and the moon will not give its light. Stars will fall from heaven. This is not truthful. So none of these words are really truthful. So they are now removed. And then I will pick up from here in the next video. I think covered a lot in that video.